what assessment has the Welsh Government made of the impact of the Salzburg Summit on Wales?
Thank you, Llywydd. The rejection of the Prime Minister's proposals in Salzburg leads to an assessment by the Welsh Government that this increases the risk of a no deal. This would be catastrophic for Wales, as we say each time, and must be avoided. The negotiations are not a choice between Chequers and no deal, and need to be conducted in a spirit of compromise to protect our economy and jobs.
I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that answer. Of course, very quickly last week, the UK's negotiating position evaporated in Salzburg, and the UK Prime Minister succeeded in uniting the EU 27 leaders in their exasperation. And of course, as the Cabinet Secretary has alluded to, the Prime Minister has made the prospect of a no-deal separation more, not less likely, and we are all aware of the catastrophic consequences that will have on Welsh jobs and Welsh communities. Seeing as the Welsh Government agrees that the no-deal Brexit is now more likely than it was before the Salzburg Summit, can the Cabinet Secretary in the first instance reassure this Assembly that preparations for a no-deal are to be enhanced? I take the point entirely that there is no way to mitigate no deal, but are steps being taken now to enhance our preparations for a no deal outcome? I think there is a growing level of concern within Wales that we are not as prepared as we could be. I note, for example, concerns raised by the Royal College of Nursing, who have said that they remain concerned that Welsh preparations for Brexit are relatively early on in development and a sufficient time to work through all of the detail may be running out. And so can he assure us that he is stepping up efforts to prepare for no deal as best as possible? And finally, Llywydd, the fallout from Salzburg has included the Prime Minister of the UK handing the Democratic Unionist Party a veto on a hard border in Ireland. And the Cabinet Secretary and his Cabinet colleagues have told me on a number of occasions that this United Kingdom is a partnership of equals. But Northern Ireland doesn't even have a government, and yet one of its political parties has a border veto. But we in Wales will be forced to accept a hard border in the Irish Sea in the event of the backstop taking effect. Meanwhile, the Scottish Government is fighting the Great Westminster power grab in the court. So I ask the Cabinet Secretary, what of Wales? How does he propose we avoid a hard border in the Irish Sea, given the fact that a no deal is more likely? And how will he, importantly, and this is a crucial point in the current context, how will he create the political leverage in this, the most centralised of states, to defend Wales's economic and political interests?
Thank the member for those follow-up questions. Provide him with the assurance that he asked for, that right across the Welsh Government we continue to take whatever steps we can to prepare for a disaster which would not be of our making, and we do so in the way that he put it, that we do the best we possibly can in those highly adverse conditions. If there are any organisations in Wales that have specific ideas as to how we could do better to prepare for that eventuality, then of course we are very keen to discuss that with them, and we do so right across the full range of Cabinet responsibilities. In his second set of questions, Steffan Lewis points to one of the key flaws in the Chequers white paper, and that is to say that it does not provide a solution to the most intractable issue in the negotiations, and that is the hard border on the island of Ireland. And when I said that it is incumbent upon those involved in the negotiations to approach that not on the basis of red lines and immovable positions, I did so entirely in order to focus on that small number of issues that are fundamental to moving Chequers forward, and the Irish border is at the very top of that list. I deeply regret the fact that in all the forums that I attend on behalf of the Welsh Government, we do not have representatives of a devolved administration in Northern Ireland there to assist in those discussions, and we miss them being there every time. In their absence, we do everything we can to make sure that we take every opportunity to exercise the leverage that Steffan Lewis referred to, relying on the force of our argument, on the evidence that we provide, and our ability to form alliances with others around that table.